Hey there everyone, welcome back to another practice. My name is Chasity and I'll be guiding you through your restorative yoga practice for today. Restorative yoga is a great practice to do that really helps to just restore balance to our body. It helps us to bring balance to our nervous system. It helps us to just sort of revitalize our bones, our muscles, our joints, our connective tissue, our fascia tissue, all of that great stuff. So with this being said, we will get started. You will need at least 2 pillows and 2 blankets. If you don't have traditional yoga bolsters and yoga blankets, it's perfectly fine. You can just use household props. It's no problems. If you are interested in getting more traditional yoga props, of course, you can always use the link that is in the description of this video to get a discount. Now, in restorative yoga, the more pillows and the more blankets you have, the better. The goal for restorative yoga is just to be completely comfortable. So make sure you're warm, put on a warm jacket. You can wear socks, you can wear beanies, anything like that. And grab as many pillows and blankets that you have or that you want to use. You'll need at least 2 of each though. On top of this, you'll also need a folding chair. If you don't have a folding chair, you can always just use a regular kind of reclining chair or a couch or something like that. This is going to be for if you're really tight in your hamstrings or lower back. If you're a little more open in those areas, you may not need the chair, and I'll give you a variation when we get there. Okay, with all this being said, let's go ahead and get started. So we are going to set ourselves up in a child's pose. Now what I want you to do is take one of your blankets, and it's just going to be for your knees. So I like to have my blanket a little bit wide like this, but if you need to fold it and kind of make more padding, go for it. And we're going to set our blanket down about like this. You do want to make sure it's nice and wide so that way it does support your knees. Again, in child's pose, big toes together, your knees are wide. Now, if you are a little more tight through the lower back, a good option is to take your second blanket and to roll it up nice and tight like this, as tight as you can get it. And you're actually going to set this kind of on your calves or your ankles, kind of like this. And then when you sit back, you should be sitting on that blanket. Use as many blankets here. You can also use a pillow here. Next up, we're going to take one pillow and just sort of slide it in between our inner thighs like this. And we'll also take the second pillow and do the same thing. Just set it right on top of the other. Okay, so you should be set up. Take your time. Once you're there, we're going to walk ourselves forward and we'll rest our right cheek down. Adjust as you need to, get nice and comfortable. For restorative yoga, it's a good idea maybe to have the lights off, maybe light a few candles. If you would like to play any music, I will link my restorative yoga playlist below the video as well. Again, you can use as many props here as you'd like. Maybe you want to drape a blanket over your back and get nice and comfortable. Good. And close your eyes. I have my phone here just to keep a watch on the time. So don't worry, I'm not texting or doing any of that crazy stuff. I simply want to make sure that we optimize our time and rest accordingly. So I will set my timer. Good. In restorative yoga, we are in these postures for about 3 to 7 minutes. This will be a shorter class. This class will be about 30 minutes or so. So we'll only move through a few postures, so I encourage you to find stillness as soon as you can. Close your eyes. Take a few deep breaths to settle in. And then let the breath go. And just breathe naturally in and out of your nose. And don't worry about how this pose looks. Don't worry if maybe you're using more props than me. Like I said, the more props, the better. Just let your body soften. Tell your body that it's okay to soften. It's time to rest. Loosen the jaw. Relax the eyelids. Relax through the neck and through the shoulders. Relax the fingers, the toes, the hips and the belly. Totally relaxed, totally comfortable. And if you're resting one cheek down, just slowly turn and rest your opposite cheek down. And start to take an inhale through your nose and sigh it out of your mouth. On an inhale, slowly start to walk the hands back towards the knees, rolling the torso up so you're sitting back on your heels. Keep the eyes closed and just take a big breath in and a big breath out. Awesome. Slowly blink the eyes open, moving slowly and mindfully as we transition here between our postures. Move your props out of the way, move the pillows out of the way. All right, so this next posture we're going to use our folded chair. So if you have one, gently kind of unfold it, and you want to make sure that the seat part is facing you. Now, if you don't have a chair, just use a couch or even your bed or anything like that. If you are more open through the hamstrings and lower back, I'll give you a different variation in a second. So, we have our chair. We're going to take our blanket that we were sitting on, gently just drape it over the chair like this. Option to sit onto a pillow. You do not have to sit on anything if you don't want to or if you don't need to. This is optional. Okay. Sitting on a pillow if you'd like. Now what you want here, So I kind of have a bar on my chair, so I actually have to drape my legs over the bar. But if you don't have this bar, you should be able just to slide your legs directly underneath. You want to be as close to the seat of the chair as possible. Good. Okay, so kind of like this, it's kind of like the chair becomes a table, and all you're doing, you're going to stack one forearm on top of the other, and you're going to rest your forehead on your forearms. You should be able to breathe naturally here. Your face should not be pressed against your chair and towel. You should have space between the towel and your nose. This is a restorative Paschimottanasana. Don't worry about having straight legs. Let the legs and feet relax. Good. Stay here if this feels fine. If you don't need this chair and you're a little more flexible and mobile, then what you do, you're just going to sit down. You can sit down on a blanket if you'd like. Place one pillow underneath your knees, and then take your other pillow and take it vertical on your legs like this. And then you're just going to, again, stack one forearm on top of the other and rest your forehead down like this, okay? So this is an option if you're a little more mobile and flexible through the lower back and hamstrings. But if using the chair feels good, use your chair. I'm watching the clock. So that was a little bit of movement there to transition, so take a few deep breaths. Relax back into your body. Soften the face. Soften the body. And then start to soften the breath. All the work is done. All you have to do now is rest. And if you ever feel like your mind is wandering a little too much, just bring your awareness back to your breath. And follow the breath as it comes in through the nose and leaves through the nose. And see if you could really visualize your breath coming in, bringing oxygen to your brain, moving through all the muscles down to the fingers and toes. You can count your breath if you'd like. And just count to 4 as you inhale and count to 4 as you exhale. Start to deepen your breath. And the next time you take an inhale, slowly roll up through your spine. You can keep the eyes closed. Or just keep your gaze nice and soft. Take an inhale and sigh it out. Good. Moving slow here, moving mindfully. And start to kind of circle through the ankles with little fingers. We're going to transition here, so if you have the chair, move the chair out of your way. Slide your legs out and start to dismantle all of your props. We're going to come into a twist. So moving slowly here, there's absolutely no rush. One of the great things about taking a virtual restorative yoga class is that you can pause the video, you can stop, you can rest in postures for as long as you would like to. You can move as slowly as you would like to. Okay, so to set up for our twist, take one pillow, place it vertical on your mat, right beside you. You can also stack your second pillow on top, just to kind of lift up a little bit higher. You're going to take one blanket, if you want to, and you're going to place it at the edge of that pillow so it looks just like this. Okay, now what you're going to do is you're going to set your right hip down, and you should be touching the edges of your pillows. You should have contact with the pillows. You're just sitting on the right hip. Now, if you have any lower back kind of tension, take your second blanket or a pillow. If you're taking the blanket, roll it up nice and tight. Again, you can use a pillow here. You're just going to place your prop in between your thighs like this, nice and loosely, nothing crazy. Okay? Good. Now, you can do that with a pillow. It might be a little more comfortable. To set up, one hand on either side of your pillows. I want you to take an inhale and think about squaring your chest with your pillows. And then as you exhale, slowly walk the torso down, resting the right cheek down. Good. Now, to be more comfortable, you might want to have a blanket kind of over the top of your pillows to rest your cheek on. You can also cover up with a blanket here as well. Take your time adjusting. Grab extra pillows and blankets if you need. If you want to take this twist into the cervical spine a little bit more, if you want to take it into the upper back and neck, then you'll just rest your left cheek down. Okay, but that's totally optional. Now your chest should be lying flat on your pillows. And take your time, adjust as you need, but making your way to stillness as soon as you can. This is a pose that takes a few moments and a few breaths to settle into. This pose requires a few moments for our body to relax into it. So come to stillness, take a few deep breaths, close your eyes, and relax. Allow your body to soften and to become heavy on your pillows. All the work is done. All you have to do now is rest. And take an inhale through your nose. Gentle exhale. Start to plant your hands down. And on an inhale, press your torso up, nice and slow. Maybe try to keep your eyes closed here. We're just transitioning to the second side. So I like to kind of roll onto my bum all the way until my left hip is down. Take your time here adjusting. If you have a prop in between your legs, you might need to adjust it a little bit. So our left hip is down. Remember, you have contact with these pillows. You're touching the pillows. One hand on either side. Inhale, square your chest with your pillows. And exhale, start to walk yourself forward, resting the left cheek down or the right cheek down. Take your time. Remember, this is a pose that takes a few moments to relax into. So make your way to stillness as soon as you can. Get heavy on your props. Totally relax. Totally heavy. Totally calm. start to take a big breath in and a big breath out. Gently place one hand down and then the other, and slowly press yourself up. Good. We're going to roll just to a seat, feet down, our knees are up. If you have any props in between your legs, just remove them. I'm just going to place kind of our arms around our knees. You can bring your forehead to your arms or just gently tuck the chin in. Just kind of turtling into ourselves for a moment. Eyes closed. Just a few deep breaths. Alright. Good. We're going to move into our final restorative yoga posture for today. I want you to look behind you, take one pillow off if you had to. So it's just one pillow, vertical. I want you to scoot back so the edge of your pillow is either touching your bum or kind of the low back sacrum area. Just kind of depends on the height and thickness of your pillows. If you have a really thin pillow, you can definitely stack a few pillows on top of each other. I want you to take your second pillow. If you're sitting on a blanket, you can stay seated on it or remove the blanket if you don't necessarily need it there. Slide your other pillow underneath your knees, just like so. You're going to drape one blanket just kind of over your thighs like this. And then you're going to take another blanket and kind of fold it up a couple of times. So it's kind of like a loose square. And then you're going to drape it on the top of your pillow. So just like this. So your setup should be very similar to this. Again, you can sit on a blanket if you want to. And once you find this, both hands down on either side of your pillow, and gently, very gently, start to lie back. Your head should rest on that blanket. Kind of adjust as you need to. Sometimes if you look closely here, I press my feet down, my heels down, and I gently kind of lift up my bum and then set it back down. Kind of finds just a micro length through the lower back, very, very, very subtle. Adjust as you need. You can cover up with more blankets. If you would like to place something over your eyes, maybe you have like a little eye pillow, or you can always just kind of drape a piece of clothing or a towel over the eyes. That's always a good idea. Just making our way into our final relaxation. Let's have our palms face up if that feels comfortable. Again, using as many props here as you need to feel comfortable. We're all working through different body ailments, we're working through different injuries, and so the more props you use could actually feel better in your body. If you have a hard time getting into any posture, just bring the posture to you. Use the props, they're here to help you. Let's take one more breath in through our nose. Hold it, and then sigh it out of your mouth. And soften the breath. Easy inhale, easy exhale. Soften the tension behind the eyelids. Soften the jaw. Soften the neck, the shoulders, the chest. Soften the fingers, the belly, the hips, the thighs. Soften the feet and the toes. Totally relaxed, totally heavy, totally supported. All the work is done. All you have to do now is rest. And this is where I will leave you for today. You can stay here for as long as you would like to, or for as long as you can. And as always, if you have any comments, questions, or concerns, please feel free to contact me, and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. Thank you so much for practicing with me today, and I'll see you next time. Namaste.